Line's good.
Never on!
Whoa.
Hard! Hard, please.
Come on, Brent.
Line's good.
Got real close.
The hair high, right?
Try and hit 2/3.
Have they saved it for her? Yes, they have.
Ooh, welcome to Game of Stones, everybody. I am Sean Graham, Scott. Alongside, as always, hello, Scott.
Sean, I got a question for you.
Okay.
I received some new fruits in the fruit and vegetable box that we get
Yeah.
each week. Do you know what this is?
Actually, I do. I don't know what it's called, but it's a very tart, sweet fruit.
Yeah, it's a kumquat.
Okay.
And I'm going to eat one. And I've only ever had one before.
Okay. All right. This will be fun. All right. So for those listening,
So you
which
got
is
to
our
like
trouble.
mush it up, like try
Okay.
to squeeze it, get the juices off. This is a citrus fruit that you eat with the peel.
Yes. You just pop it in. It's like a one bite. There you go. Scott is eating the kumquat. Yeah.
Juicy.
Yeah. You like it?
5 stars.
Tart?
No, I said 5 stars.
Yes, I know, but is it tart?
Not too tart, no.
No.
Anyway, I thought that'd be
new-
fun. Maybe
new
it's not that fun.
experience. How about that? Good stuff. All right.
Eating on a podcast is always a win.
Yeah, nobody has ever complained about that. Yeah. All right. So, Scott, it's been a very busy week, of course, in the world of curling, as it has been for the last 2 months here in this Olympic and Paralympic year. Last week, we talked about the end of the Brier. The men's world championship kicks off about 10 days from now, 11 days from now, as we record this on Tuesday evening. The women's world championship is up and running out in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, where Carrie Anderson's off to a very good start. And our Australia prediction was tanked on the morning draw of day 2. So great start. Congratulations to Team Australia. That's really cool that they were able to pull out a win.
Yeah,
out there
definitely.
in Calgary. Tough start to the week for Norway.
Yeah, a young team, getting their first taste.
Yeah, so lots going lots going on out there in Calgary. But I would say the star of the curling world over the past week, Scott, has been or was the events over in Cortina d'Ampezzo at the 2026 Paralympic Games, where medal games were had. Excitement was throughout. And we have our 2026 Paralympic champions. Scott, let us start with what I think was the most exciting, and that is the 4-person, the mixed game, where the Canadians went through undefeated through the round robin and through the playoffs. That team of Mark Idison, John Thurston, Ina Forrest, Kalinda Joseph, Gil Dash, the alternate for that team. They go 9-0 throughout the event. As I said, they do have the second best shooting percentage. The Chinese, Wang, Haitao, they were just 0.1% better than them at 68.3%. The Canadians at 68.2%. But that, Scott, I don't think really does justice to what the Canadians did over the course of the week. They played so many close games. As I look here, 3 of the games were 1-point games. They had the blowout against Norway, which was 9-2, but that was close in the 6th end. And John Thurston made the shot of the year, which we alluded to last year. And that's why that game was a blowout, because you had this crazy, incredible shot that John Thurston goes and makes. So throughout the whole week, Scott, they were in really tight games. The game against Great Britain, Hugh Niblo on his last one, he has a shot, I think a relatively good shot, probably wins Great Britain the game. He comes up short. Like, there was just all these things through the course of the week. We'll just talk about the round robin now, where the Canadians were in good positions, right? You have to make a lot of shots, and obviously they were relative to the field, but they were kind of hanging on some of these games by the skin of their teeth a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. I think I'm looking at this this Great Britain game that you mentioned. Yeah, and Canada got 3 in the last end to win, just by 1. We talked about it in the preview that the wheelchair game can have big swings like this. It happens. But Canada was definitely the recipient of a lot of good luck. And, you also have to play well to be able to take advantage of that luck. And they did it better than anybody else. And I mean, let's talk about the semifinal where they steal 3 in the last end to win 8-7.
Yeah, so that's pretty nuts. So we'll get to the semifinal. They play South Korea, who they had beaten the day before on Thursday in the afternoon draw in Italy there. Pretty exciting game there. The Canadians were in control most of the game, but a steal in the second half made it a little close. And so we had a situation here like what happened in the Olympic Games where we have a team that plays, it wasn't the last draw for the Canadians, but towards the end, and then you play them again in the semifinal. And the Canadians, of course, with the 9-0 record, they start out with the hammer, get their deuce in the first. So a great start there. But then they give the deuce back. It's a steal of 2. The Canadians are forced, get a steal, and then the big 3-ender for the Koreans in the 6th. So the Canadians are down by 3, playing 7, and get forced. So they're down 2 without the hammer. Scott, you just rewatched this before we started to record.
Yeah.
So what happened?
So Canada made all of their shots, almost all their shots, and Korea missed the important ones. So Canada had a guard up there. Korea came and tried to hit and just rolled a little bit instead of peeling it out. That gave Canada advantage. They threw another guard, and this is after Canada had 2 rocks already buttoned and 4-foot. Canada threw another guard. Korea had 1 rock in the house as well. Tried to throw a peel, flashed. Then Canada on Mark Idison's last, made a nice little hit and roll. So there were 2 guards up front. Nice little hit and roll on the Korean shot. They had 3 guards all sort of behind about 3 guards. Korea tried to promote one of theirs on a slight angle. It didn't curl enough, and they drove it right through. And it was just like, what the heck happened? This is wild. Like, you'd never expect to see that, in the 4-person or sometimes in mixed doubles, right? Or in the 4-person game. And that's the kind of excitement that Paralympic curling can deliver.
Yeah, like I would say in the 4-person game, you're looking at, if you're down 3, they have the hammer, or down 2 and they have the hammer. You're hoping best case scenario that they can throw against the loss.
Yeah.
And so you have 3 in the house, which obviously the Canadians were able to do here. But I think the biggest difference between the 4-person game and then the wheelchair game is the peeling. That the peel game is a lot more precise when you have sweepers, because not only can you hit the rock, is it easier, quote unquote, to hit the rock where you want it, the sweepers can also get the shooter out. So in the wheelchair game, you don't have the opportunity then to sweep your shooters out. So I did notice over the course of the week, it seemed like Paralympics to Olympics, a lot fewer peels were just being attempted. I think because of that, just slightly less precision. And so you might as well come in, maybe tap theirs, do some of the stuff you see more in the mixed doubles game, just because you don't have the ability to sweep.
Yeah, and I think the difference in like their precision with the touch, which seemed to me in watching it, that was the preferred shot for most of the players.
Yeah.
Right. Is that sort of touch shot. And like, excuse me, throwing with a stick is tough. when you are walking out. I'd say probably much tougher sitting down, not being able to put any momentum other than your arm behind it. But like, Sean, we've played against guys using a stick,
Deadly.
women using a stick that are deadly. They just have like the exact right. They just know it. It's like having somebody who has deadly draw weight, but is like all the time the same, and they don't slip and fall. So like,
no speed wobbles.
No speed wobbles.
On those ones. But I think it's true too, though, in that the release with the stick, again, in my very limited experience, but also with the people who I've played with and against, you can be more accurate on the light stuff, right? Because you're not extending your arm as much. The more arm extension you have, which for the hits you need a bigger arm extension, you're more likely to pop it out or twist it in, right? Where you the lighter one, which is kind of true of a slide as well. Like the lighter you are, the more accurate you are on average for the most players. But certainly I think when you're using a stick, the more you extend, the more likely you are to mess up the release a little bit. So for the consistency's sake, I get why players who use sticks, and certainly the wheelchair players, would lean more to that style of play, in addition to, as I said, just the heavyweight. You need your rocks in play, and when you don't have sweepers, the heavier weight, it's harder to keep your rocks in play.
Yeah, for sure. So just keeps more rocks in play and makes it a little more interesting, right?
Yeah. So a unexpected win for the Canadians there in the semifinal.
Sean, we talked about the shot of the week, him throwing the shot of the week, but I don't think we described it.
It's so hard to describe it. It's
like through a port,
in turn, coming across the center line, just barely across the center line, where he's trying to hit 3/4, maybe 7/8 on the high side to drive the opponent's stone back. And that stone is maybe touching the center line, and trying to drive it back to the opponent's stone that is around 9 o'clock-ish, 10 o'clock-ish in the 4-foot.
Yeah.
And to get 1/4 of that stone, and it's a double takeout. But what's challenging about it is that you're trying to miss 3 of your own rocks, or 4 of your own rocks.
Yeah. And so they end up making it perfectly, and it was a 5, right?
5 or 6, was it?
5-bagger. It was pretty good.
It was really good.
Like, it's one of those where you're like, what? And people are yelling, sweep or curl. And like,
John Thurston's going nuts. Curl.
Like, just that's like thinking back to the old days, right? When we didn't sweep to curl, we would just like pray that the rock would curl. And now there's like something you could do about it sometimes, but not in wheelchair curling. So hearing it and just like, oh, come on, go. And, it was just so good. Good.
It was of course it was John Thurston throwing, so it's still third rocks, but it works out to be a 6 for the Canadians against the Norwegians there in draw number 4 on Sunday. Just an incredible shot.
Yeah. Incredible shot. Is that our new shot of the year?
I think so. I mean, I thought it was Sandy McEwen, but then John Thurston entered the chat, and I mean, we'll see. It's still March. I mean, stuff can still happen.
I mean, Sandy McEwen lost the game, so
So very, very exciting stuff. And if you haven't seen it, like I can't really do it justice. It's kind of like the Glenn Howard shot against Joel Jordison. Like, I can describe it, but it's way better to just see it.
And Norway was shot, and to pick it off. And
to not touch any of your own. Forget not taking out any of your own. Doesn't touch any of his own.
Yeah. Wild.
It's absolutely wild. Just
and to see it and call it too.
Yeah.
Also, like, let's give this a go. What?
Yeah, because the port, we're talking about 2 stones at most is the port.
Yeah, at most.
So just an absolutely incredible shot by John Thurston. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I interrupted you. I think you were going to move on to the gold medal game.
Yeah, gonna move. So just saying I didn't see any of the other semifinal, but it was China against Sweden, and it was China winning with a single in the 8th end to win 7-6 there. Full credit to the Swedish squad for hanging with the Chinese team. And they cracked a 3 early and were able to get in there. But ultimately, the difference in the game was a steal in the 2nd end for the Chinese, because the Chinese get their 3 back in the 6th end. So the final is Canada and China. And this, Scott, was a phenomenal game back and forth. Singles back and forth. They have a blank in the first, and then it's the gunner strategy of 1-1-1-1-1-1-1 and 4-3. The Canadians win. But Scott, there was a lot of really good shots being made here. When you look at, I believe it was the 4th end, the Canadians are in pretty good shape, potentially for a deuce. Then Haitao Wang, he makes a double and ends up behind a corner, and then on Wang's last throws one that just goes, honestly, maybe 6 inches too deep. He's just trying to sit 2 and make Mark Idison draw. It comes a little deep into the 4-foot. Mark Idison has a nose hit, makes it perfectly for the 1. Under the circumstances, a very difficult hit for 1. And though given the stakes of that, fast forward to the 7th end, Canada's in really good shape. And on the 3rd stones, you have the Chinese 3rd, Jianqin Chen. He makes an around the horn. The Canadians have one on the pin, and then there's a bunch to the right as you look down on it. And Chen comes off the outside Canadian one off his own, comes back up the Vic Special, going north again to move the Canadian stone to get shot. That's really the difference in that end. But the Canadians were well set up in that end. And then in the 8th end, things are happening all over the sheet. It was actually, to me, Scott, the first 8 shots of that end, the lead second stones for both teams, those were the only shots in the game where I felt like maybe the stakes were starting to get to the players a little bit, because it was 4 misses. And well, the first Chinese stone was a make, but everything after that was a miss. Now, the players were talking about that the ice was really changing in that moment, that they were going to like 12 and a half seconds for draws when they had been at 14 and a half seconds earlier in the game. So something clearly drastic happened with the ice. While at the same time, maybe that's just the circumstances started to, you get a little tense in those moments.
Yeah.
And what I found most interesting about this 8th end is that the Canadians call a timeout on Ina Forrest's stone on her first. And it's like, okay, what do we do? Like, we can start to peel now, or do we continue to come in? And this is, again, this where we talked about the kind of lack of precision on some of these peels. Everyone thinks peels are easy, but it is a very precise shot. And so they call the timeout, and Mick comes out, and they're talking, and Mick says, I think maybe leave it for John. And so Ina comes in, and then we basically see this draw game back and forth through the rest of the end, to the point where the Chinese are sitting 2 or 3 on Mark Idison's last, and Mark throws the draw, and he's shot, but not by a lot.
Yeah.
And
it's
really, it's from the overhead, it's clearly Canada, I think. And
but also think, like, when you're in the chair, you can't like get right over it.
Yeah. Colin made this point as well. I saw on social media, like in the moment, that you can't like look straight down in the same way, because you kind of have to look over the side, and your angle's a little, it's different from
it's
if you
just
can
different.
be right over it. So Wang throws his last, and he doesn't make it. And so now we're in this situation. The Canadians were short on time anyway. And so now you have John Thurston in the house saying, I think it's us. I'm pretty sure it's us. He, of course, doesn't have the overhead to look at.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's saying, I'm pretty sure it's us. And the other three are saying, okay, we're going to throw it into the boards. And John's like, no, just play this little tap. And then they're like, are we shot? And he goes, I'm pretty sure we're shot.
I think so, but it's close. And he doesn't want to be the one that says, oh yeah, we're shot.
That's
and
the thing.
then,
If they have 5 minutes and they all come down and look at it, they probably throw it into the boards.
Probably.
Is where they land on it, right? But they have 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And the WCF, or the World Curling, they drop the F. Get the F out. Is if you don't throw it, you lose.
Yeah.
It's not this thing of if time runs out, you just can't throw anymore, and the rocks in the in play are in play. You lose the game. So he has to either throw it into the boards or actually try a shot. And so basically, John Thurston talks him into just play the tap, and he had just played the same path. So you just got to throw it a little harder. But in the moment, as you're rushing, adrenaline for a gold medal, it's not out of the realm of possibility that you overthrow it and pick yours out.
Yes.
So,
or you curl too much, hit it at an angle that changes
the other way. Yeah.
And it goes the other way. And then all of a sudden you're not shot.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of things bad that could happen.
Could absolutely go wrong. And the crowd, you could hear too, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. The crowd is counting down.
Yeah.
Like they're counting the seconds. And then Mark Idison throws the tap. They say, okay, fine, we'll do this. Throws the tap, absolutely perfect. T-line weight, taps the shot stone, I don't know, maybe a foot, so that it goes from, it's Canada to like, we don't even have to look at it. It's Canada, and there's your gold medal. And I was sitting on my couch, Scott, like going nuts. Like it was hard to watch it as they're going back and forth. Like,
and it got down to like,
I think they threw 2.8 or something.
Yeah, it went to tenths of seconds. I've never seen a curling clock go to tenths.
Yeah, we have tenths of seconds now.
Yeah. And for him to like be as dialed in as that was, with the ice conditions changing, with everything being like, no sweeping, just like a lot of things that could go wrong, like we recapped.
Yeah.
Just perfect.
And I don't know if Mark Idison wears like a Fitbit or something that tracks heart rate.
Yeah.
But I would like to see it because I'm pretty sure his heart rate did not change.
No, he was
like, if anything, it looked like it went down.
Ice cold,
Just, it was so impressive what he did in that moment where like your teammates are like amped up.
Yes.
But you as the thrower can't get as amped up.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And it was so impressive. He makes that shot, a gold medal for Canada. Even the announcer, I don't know who was doing there was a familiar voice doing the play-by-play on CBC, but I couldn't pin the name. She was going nuts. Like, you got to throw it. You got to throw it. It was just a very exciting moment.
Very exciting. Yeah. I was just like, is it what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
And to do it against the Chinese team, like that we talked about in the preview, were so dominant.
Yep.
And to do it after a China miss on their last.
Yeah.
Just like pretty crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. So the second gold medal for Mark Idison, he of course won back in Sochi in 2014, bronze medals in 2018, 20 and 22. Third gold medal for Ina Forrest. She had the gold medal in 2010 as well. For John Thurston, his first gold medal, really solid performance for him over the course of the week. Same with Kalinda Joseph, getting her first. I really enjoyed too. John Thurston, when he liked one that Mark threw, you're like, oh, great throw, Marcos, as it's coming down.
Yeah.
Like straight at me, split me perfect. Like,
yeah.
It was just the live time feedback was great. So yeah, congratulations to them. Congratulations to the Chinese team as well. Certainly the powerhouse of wheelchair curling over the last few years, Wang, or Haitao Wang and his team, really, really good up and down the lineup. Silver medal. They don't three-peat in the golds here. But as we said in the preview, he's still young. He's 36. He's got the 2 Paralympic golds, 4 world championships. Of course, see if he wants to continue to play, but he is the skip of the best team or of the quad for sure.
Yeah.
Just came up a little short in that last game, and a very entertaining team to watch. Scott, I don't speak the language, but I got a sense of while the rock was in motion, what they were hoping it would do. What they were hoping it would do.
Yes. Yes.
Very expressive and really good emoting.
Yeah, it's the language that we can all understand. The urgency.
Yeah.
When you're looking to, let's go. Yeah, definitely good.
Yeah, so congratulations to them. And then in the bronze medal game, it was Sweden coming out on top over the South Koreans, 7-2 there. So congratulations to the Swedish side for their bronze medal. So Scott, that was the 4-person wheelchair curling event. A lot of fun there. There also, for the first time ever, was the mixed doubles curling. And you said, Scott, during the preview, like you said, oh, is it boring to pick China? And I said something like, oh, it's boring to pick China for the 4-person, not for the mixed doubles, right? They're not a dynasty in the mixed doubles. Well, maybe they are. They go through 6-1 through the round robin. Meng, Wang, and Jin Cao Yang, 6-1, 2 games better than anybody else. It was a 3-way tie for second place between the United States, the South Koreans, and the Latvians. And they all were 1-1 against each other. So it went to the draw shot challenge. In the United States of America were second. So it was China, Latvia in one semifinal, the United States and South Korea in the other semifinal. And Scott, as we looked at those semifinals, they were not the semifinals. It was the bronze. We have to talk about the
bronze medal game. We need to talk
the semifinals, China over Latvia. We talked about that Latvian team in the preview where they had Roskova and Lasmans playing together, probably the 2 best players. And rather than have them with the 4-person team, they put them in the mixed doubles. Good choice there. They get into the playoffs. We'll talk about what happens in the bronze medal game there, but just not enough to compete with the Chinese team in the semifinal, 8-3 there. And the Koreans beat the Americans in the other semifinal. But Scott, the bronze medal game, this was the pièce de résistance of this mixed doubles tournament because in the first end with the hammer, the United States cracks a 4. And now I'm not a TV producer, but I would say most TV producers would look at that and say, not a good sign for the rest of my broadcast here. I got a couple hours to fill and we potentially have the makings of a blowout here.
Yeah.
But then the Latvians say, oh, no. How about a 5 right back at you? And then a steal. So it's 6-4 for the Latvians after 3 ends. I think that's when Ryan texted us and said, this game is drunk.
This game is wild AF.
Around that point, they get the force, so 6-5. Another force back for the Latvians, so 7-5. The game calms down there through the middle. And then the Americans on their power play crack a 4 of their own to go up 8-7. And then the Latvians with their power play crack a 3.
No, the Latvians used their power
they used
play
it for the 5, excuse me. Yeah.
Second end.
Yes. To get right back in the game. Smart choice.
The earliest power play that's ever been used.
Yeah. So the Latvians get their 3 in the 7th end. The Americans with a single in the 8th, and the Latvians are able to win in an extra end. 21 points in that mixed doubles game. Scott, I know mixed doubles can generate a lot of points. That has to be some kind of a record. And I should have looked it up, but 21 points in 8 ends is
when you only have
5 stones to throw, 6 stones in play per team. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's bonkers for sure. You could see in a game where maybe like one team gets up to 10 or 11, but it's usually because the other team is not doing so well.
It's like 11-5.
Yeah, for both teams, pretty crazy. But
that might be the
big
game of the year. I don't know.
To What's that?
That might be the game of the year.
That might be the game of the year. Yeah. Big congrats to Latvia there to come through and win that medal.
Yeah. So
Pretty
that
cool.
strategy by the Latvian Curling Federation works or
Yeah.
worked, right? Do you take your best two players, put them together, and yeah, they did kind of sacrifice the 4-person team by taking their two best players, but you got a medal out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, good strategy and well executed.
Yes. And then in the gold medal game, the Chinese team comes out on top. They start with the hammer, get a 3, then a 4, then a 2. But full credit to the Koreans. They're able to work their way back into the game. They get 3 in the 7th, steal in the 8th to tie it up. So down 4, playing 7. They're able to tie it up. But the Chinese were just too much in the extra end, get a deuce. Then it's a 9-7 finish. So China is your first ever wheelchair mixed doubles gold medalist.
Yeah, pretty cool. Did either of us pick China?
I think you did, didn't you land on China?
I do tend to pick winners, Sean. Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to go back and look. I honestly don't remember. I do remember you asked if it was too chalky or too boring to pick.
Yeah, I think I did. I don't write them down. You write them down.
So. I write them down. I'll see if I can pull up my notes here. But yeah, so there you have it. The medalists there: China, South Korea, Latvia on the mixed doubles side. The rest of the standings rounding them out: the Americans 4th, Great Britain 5th, Japan, Estonia, and Italy rounds out the standings there in the wheelchair mixed doubles. Scott, overall, what was your impression of the 2026 Paralympic curling competition?
Some pretty exciting games, some pretty good competition. The fact that like in mixed doubles, everybody got at least 2 wins, I thought was pretty good. So like a lot of parity for that discipline. Even in the mixed team, Great Britain had 1 win, but then everybody else had at least 3. So, good competition, everybody getting a chance to get in the winner's circle at least once. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I agree. It was a fun event. The curling was really good. And certainly here in Canada, of course, with GEM and stuff, the focus does tend to be on the Canadians. And they were playing really exciting games.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. So, so congratulations to the Canadians and the Chinese teams for their respective gold medals at the Paralympics. It'll be fun to see now what happens with the various teams. Certainly on the Canadian side, for Mark Idison and Ina Forrest in particular, do they want to keep going? Do they play another quad? What happens? Curling Canada has introduced I can't remember the actual the official name of it, but kind of the next gen wheelchair program to get more of the next generation of wheelchair players into a high performance setting. So we'll see what happens as we move forward in the next quad and what happens there. Is there enough depth or is there appetite to go? I think that Korean route is really good of instead of appointed, make it competition based and bring potentially more players in. We'll see what the Curling Canada's decision is on that, especially since they missed in the mixed doubles. Now that's not really anyone's fault.
No,
Ina Forrest and Mark Idison did go undefeated in the round robin of the mixed doubles world championship, just lost the wrong game in the quarter. So kind of a tough break. And I do think that perhaps the qualifying criteria might be a little different as we look forward to France in 2030, rather than have it be as limited as it was in this quad for the mixed doubles Paralympics. Maybe it opens up a little bit, being a new discipline introduced to the wheelchair game this quad. There's going to be some changes, I would imagine, to those qualification parameters, certainly on the mixed double side. So just some things to watch out for as the there could be some changes here before we get to France in 2030.
Yeah, I would hope there's some changes because putting such a big weight on one event, things can happen where you have one bad game in your final.
Yeah. So there you have it. The 2026 Paralympic Games in the books. Scott, a lot of fun was had by us. I hope all the competitors as well.
Yeah,
I
I
had
think
fun.
so.
Yeah. Now, before we go, we're going to do this a little bit more in depth through the spring at some point. And this is kind of local to us here in Ontario, but I just wanted to note this because this might bring a lot of joy to some folks across the country.
I wonder who.
Yeah. But it also, I think, brings a lot of questions. And I have a lot of questions and very few answers on this. That Ontario's governing structure for curling is going to change. And this will take place officially, or will take effect on March the 1st. So Curling Ontario is changing. So what's going to happen is that Curling Ontario, the Northern Ontario Curling Association, and the Ontario Curling Council will all be into one governing body, into one association. Now, for the thing that I think people would hear that and get excited about, it has been assured up and down, and in everything I've read about this and everything I've heard about this, Northern Ontario as a entrance into national competitions will still be there. So my apologies to some of you. You'll have to put the champagne away. But this is a real big change in how things are going to be governed here in Ontario. And the idea, I think, Scott, is to limit the duplication of work within the association. So it's going to be a merger. The idea is to share some of the burden of the administrative tasks that are associated with running a member association. But in this moment, there are, I think, very limited answers in terms of what this actually means for the rec level players and then at the elite level and putting on competitions. So we're going to reach out. We've had both Matt Allen from the Ontario, from Curling Ontario, and Laura Frechette from the Northern Ontario Curling Association on before. I'm going to reach out to both of them and see if one or both would be willing to and available to come on to talk about this in more detail in terms of the practical implications, again, for the rec level players and also for those who participate in provincial level events in both Northern Ontario and Southern Ontario, and what, if anything, this means for them and what we will notice as, for us, Scott, members of Curling Ontario. But yeah, just a pretty significant change here in the Trillium province.
Yeah, a big change. And this is always what they say when mergers happen, right? It's to reduce overhead. Why are we duplicating, admin functions that, between three different organizations that could be centralized, done better? We'll see. There's always there's like a pendulum when it comes to centralization, decentralization, and the I forget what the term is, but the period of that pendulum swing, is different for all sorts of different organizations. We both work in the federal government, Sean. I've seen it twice in my career in 20 years. Like, oh, we think centralization's good. Now we're going back to decentralization.
Right.
But the idea that there's three organizations in this province is kind of silly,
Sure.
right? Nobody else really has this. In Alberta, they still have Northern Alberta Curling and Southern Alberta. There's two regional representation like units, but they're all part of one governing body.
Right.
So yeah, I think the devil will be in the details a little bit with this. I don't think it's not going to change the number of curlers that are being serviced by both, all three of these organizations. The number of curlers is going to remain the same, but it's going to have to be done by one.
Right.
We'll see if what it does if instead of duplicating resources in governance and in administration, we take some of those resources and reallocate them into developing the sport, developing the grassroots, providing support for youth curling, for example. So we divert some of those resources into those things. I think it'll be good, right?
Yeah, and when we had Matt on a year or two ago, whenever it was, he talked about things that, say, the rec level players might notice, which is, say, for smaller volunteer clubs that may not have a webmaster,
Yeah.
right? Having some sort of a system where, right, there's this centralized Curling Ontario website where you can put in your like schedules and scores, so like your members have access to this, and you know, that kind of stuff, right? If you can sort of scale that across the whole province through one contract, they're great.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And that's the sort of thing that we'll see. But again, in terms of what's been made public, short on details. So again, I'll reach out to Matt and Laura, and once the rush of these World Championships and Rock League is done, that'll give us a chance to delve into sort of the business side, the administrative side of what's going on as we get into the summer. So I just wanted to note that this is something that is going on, and again, with all the games going on, things are happening, team breakups, team formations, all that stuff. Something that could potentially have a impact on those of us who live in Ontario. A small one, I think, at the rec level. I just wanted to note that. So I think with that, Scott, we'll say thanks so much for listening, everybody. If you have not yet, please do subscribe wherever you get your podcast, like, rate, comment, all that good stuff. Helps other people find the show, keeps us growing. Of course, head on over to GameStonesPod.com. Past episodes there under the episode tab, and a link to the merch. And we're on the socials at Game of Stones Pod, Game of Stones Podcast on Facebook. Let us know what you want to hear on the show, Game of Stones Podcast at gmail.com. Scott, I bit my tongue last night to the point where it bled.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I got home. We curled. I got home and I took a bite of an apple, and then I chomped down on it, and I got my tongue, and now it's stopped bleeding, which was good. But you know when you eat, say, like cheese or something that's too hot, and you burn the top of your mouth. That's what my tongue feels like. Like, it's not painful. It's just annoying.
Very annoying.
Yeah.
I burned the roof of my mouth today too. And whenever I bite my tongue, Sean, I always think to myself, like, are you new at eating?
Yeah.
Like, your tongue has been there the whole time. You couldn't like figure it out to not bite it? Like, it's not new.
Yeah. There's a line in Seinfeld where Elaine's like, "Oh, I bit a fork," and Jerry's like, "You think like with so much biting experience that you think someone wouldn't make that mistake?"
Yeah, you would think that. But oh man, no,
Yeah.
that's brutal. That's
really
brutal.
annoying.
Yeah, and it happened after the game, so that doesn't account for why you dumped that intern.
No, I was bad last night. It was all over the place.
It wasn't your strongest, but I don't think it was any of our strongest, but we came away with the dub.
Yeah, that's true. I think I said to Steph, who we play with after the game, if we had been playing in A or B, I don't think we win last night.
No, we don't.
So
No.
the strategy worked. We are 3/5 of the way to bar bucks here in the last draw. 2 games left for us in our Monday season, but the 2 toughest games of the draw yet to come. So
That's right.
yeah, things are starting to wind down here. But as we sit here on St. Patrick's Day, Scott, how are you celebrating St. Patrick's Day, by the way?
Well, as always, privately.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Wouldn't know it's the middle of March. Man, it's cold today. Here it rained a bunch yesterday. It was warm yesterday, froze overnight, then snowed on top of it. There's been some cold days so far this year, Scott, and I've seen what happened in Sudbury Sunday night or Sunday into Sunday night overnight, and I know it's happened out in Newfoundland all winter. So, like, I think relatively speaking, we haven't had anything like that. But this morning when I left, the wind was whipping,
Yeah.
and you're on snow that's on ice. It was somewhat treacherous. Like that, I think, is as comfortable as I've been this winter.
As uncomfortable as you've been this
Yeah.
winter. Yeah. It's not great, man. And hopefully we've turned the corner. But who knows, right? Like it's March and the weather is fickle.
Yep.
But all you can do is be as prepared as you can be each day and go from there.
Words to live by, Scotty. Words to live by. So that's what we will leave you with this week. We'll be back with you next week where we'll wrap up the Women's World Championship, preview the Men's World Championship. A couple little lineup changes to note there at the Men's World. So we'll talk all about that when we join you again next week. But until then, keep those brooms on the ice and don't dump that intern.
Make the final.